Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to the preview for Manchester United's trip to Selhurst Park to take on Crystal Palace tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Big game. Here is where it starts. I keep saying that with every game, really. This is the one where it will prove this. This is the one where it will show that. But really and truly, this is the first sort of game in the run where you go, right, Palace away. They ain't been great this season, but it's not a good hunting ground for us in the last sort of 4 years or last few years. Let's go there. Let's get a win. We've got some smiles on faces. We scored, 10 goals
Yeah, in 2
in the
games.
last 2 games. That we
Yeah.
never say that without
No.
conceding. We never say that. Albeit the opposition is questionable, but at the same time, it's a chance for back-to-back wins, back-to-back away wins in the Premier League, which again, I ain't got the stats to hand, but I don't know the last time we could say that. Probably a
Yeah.
while ago. It feels like a while
Oh,
ago we've
end
been
of the
able to
season,
say
wasn't
that.
it? End of the season.
Is it back to
We
back
played
away?
away. No.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
mean.
away, yeah, might been a while.
So when you start thinking, shit,
Yeah.
away, because we were getting licks last season away.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it's a chance to do it. Players back, players smiling, players fit. Rasmus is back. Mason Mount is back. So they'll be in the squad almost certainly, according to Eric. Working out if they're even going to start, which they won't. But yeah, how do you see this one? I mean, confidence wise, team selection, Ugarte minutes in the tank. Surely he's going to start as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, not the most happy of hunting grounds. What it is and it kind of isn't. So obviously, United have lost the 2 of their last 3 away games against Crystal Palace. We drew 1. That's when back in 2023, at the beginning of the year,
Elise,
when
top bins.
when Casemiro got the booking and we all freaked out at the time.
Yeah.
But before that, we were unbeaten in the previous 13 such visits to face the Eagles at Selhurst Park, winning 9, drawing 4. Having won none of their first 20 Premier League meetings with Manchester United, Crystal Palace have now won 5 in their last 10 against them in the division. So a bit of a bogey side, but prior to sort of the last few years, we actually used to have an okay record of going to Selhurst Park, but that's, as you mentioned, in more recent times kind of disappeared a little bit. As far as how I feel it's going to go at the weekend, well, it's an interesting time for both teams, isn't it? Because, of course, Crystal Palace haven't started the season as well as many people thought they were going to. I think there were quite a few people sort of dark horses, really, to be like, actually, if there's going to be a team that kind of maybe cracks the sort of top 7, something like that, outside of the norm, who would that be? And especially after, what Glasner did towards the end of last season, and given his pedigree, of course, he has won the Europa League before. I think people thought, hey, they're gonna really kick on. But no wins in 4 games, only 2 points on the board, 2 draws, one of which came against Leicester last time out, and that was a last-minute penalty to save the day. And Leicester weren't very happy with some of the officiating in that game too, and that's newly promoted Leicester at Selhurst Park. So I think United will probably look at this and say, look, there's a great time to play Palace. We got 2 teams completely in different scenarios. At the end of last season, we had no players, we had no confidence. We deserved to lose 4-0 that day. We all knew we were going to lose, maybe not that bad, and maybe with not the performance level that we had. Palace at the time, as I mentioned, were full of confidence. They had Elise, they had Eze, they had Mateta playing fantastic, they had Wharton playing fantastic. Everything was just clicking from at the time. And that's just not the case for either side anymore. Man United have got all the players back. They've got additions. They've kind of had a bit of a shape-up over the summer. Palace have lost a couple of players. Elise is, of course, no longer there. He's at Bayern Munich. Anderson went to Fulham, I believe, as well, didn't he? So they have lost a couple of players.
Trevor Chalobah in.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he might even be injured as well.
Oh,
so,
okay.
they've not had it's not started well for them. So, as I mentioned, it's the perfect time, really, for United to go there. So, as far as who I think would start for United, don't think there'll be that many changes from the team that started against Southampton. So, I think that would probably be Onana in goal. Same back 4 that we had. Mazraoui, De Ligt, player of the match last time, of course. Martinez, that partnership does look like it's starting to sort of blossom a little bit more. Dallo, who didn't play the full 90 against Barnsley, so he should be fine. He is the Iron Man, as Adam said on the red carpet. Midfield, I think that's where your change is probably going to happen, isn't it? You're looking at Cobby, and instead of Eriksen, probably Ugarte, you would think maybe comes in after now having some minutes against Southampton, starting against Barnsley. And then your front 4, you're looking at Rashford. You can't really drop him because he's scoring goals at the moment. Bruno Fernandes, because he's the captain, he's going to play. Ahmad, he's arguably been one of, if not our best player in the last few games. He's had a good start to the season, and it'll probably be Joshua Zirkzee again through the middle, hoping that he can get his goal. And then, as you mentioned, we've got people that are returning to the bench, and actually, we might have a bit of a strong bench because you're looking at Casemiro, Eriksen, Højlund, Mount, Garnacho, who's scoring all of these goals at the moment. That's not bad. That's not bad options at all, is it?
Yeah, I think you've just got to let that confidence shine through. I mean, the team's got to we've got to start in a confident manner. Silence the crowd. Don't let them dictate tempo and play early doors. That will cause us trouble. But at the same time, it is about being compact. And if they do start all right, fine. Don't panic. Defend well. See out that first sort of 15, 20 minutes if you do need to do that because they're coming strong.
Southampton.
Yeah, well, look at that. Exactly. But the difference is there's a difference between, like you said, the other team having a good 30 minutes and then no, they should have scored by now. Like,
well, they had a pen.
Then you give them a pen as well at the end of it. So you can't do that. But there's ways of sort of controlling a team coming onto you. Again, it's a completely different area of the table and like level, but look what Arsenal did to Spurs in the first half last week. Like the Spurs were coming strong, but it's like we'll just defend properly, clear our lines, get your headers out. Do you know what I mean? Make sure there's no big chances. They had a little nervy one here where I think they gave away the ball and Solanke had it, but then it got blocked. Like, get your blocks in, just defend properly and come out of that period and build yourself into the game. But that is me probably. I don't care about jinx and judge and stuff. If I'm honest, we don't even need to give Palace that level of respect as well. This is a team that hasn't won a game this season. They've got 2 losses and 2 draws. They're going through a little bit of a transition with different types of players as well, trying to find their feet. It isn't how it was last year with Glasgow. They're not as potent yet. Of course, our worry is, but then Man United come and then we get them to start their season, and don't be that team to help them kickstart their season. Absolutely, because we are looking at it like, well, Leicester went there, probably should have walked away with all 3 points, got pen in the last minute. Tell you what, that was a bit dubious. They're lucky there. They're lucky.
Yeah.
And Leicester aren't great, but football doesn't work like this. They'll be up for it. It's Man United. It's under the lights. Do you know what I mean? And Nketiah will want to impress. I think he's been playing just behind, like they can't, like where Elise was playing sort of on the right. They have like a narrow 2, don't they, just behind the striker because they've got wing backs.
Yeah, and to your point, they have had 2 home games this season in the league, and they haven't won either of them. They lost to West Ham 2-0. Obviously, they drew the one against Leicester. They did get a good result at Stamford Bridge, 1-1.
Yeah,
and then first game away, they lost away to Brentford, which can happen to teams in the Premier League. So to your point, look, the thing is with Selhurst Park is it's still, and I know they've got plans, I think, to get a new stadium in the future, but it's always a good atmosphere. It's always loud. They're always up for it. And I think you're right. I think the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, depending on how fast United start, it might be a case of be like, you've just got to get through, sometimes. And even the best United teams, throughout history in the Premier League, sometimes they do go away from home. And this is something where United have failed really under Ten Hag in recent years, which is go away from home. You're going to come up against adversity. Just get through it. Get through it. And then once the game starts to settle, like you said, maybe not to the extreme of Southampton, where it feels like the hinge point is saving a penalty. But once the game then starts to settle, 15 minutes in, you go, all right, they've hit us with a couple of shots. We've managed to, like the boxing analogy, a couple of jabs. We've sort of, gone, actually, we're okay now. And then you start to play your football. You start to sort of dictate the game, start to dictate the tempo, possession, and get other players into the game. And that's probably what we'll need to do, because as badly as they have started the season, they'll be like, right, okay, let's go get a scalp now. Let's go and do what we did to them back in May and get the crowd up for it, because they will be up for it. It'll be a sellout. It's Man United coming into town. So 100%. United have got to handle it. But I think given the last couple of games, given the sort of feeling, the momentum and the timing of the opponent, I think it's a perfect game for United.
Yes,
perfect,
it is.
Perfect
and
game.
in terms of, individuals, we know all about Eze. You can't stop there. Like, you can't, if you allow Eze, space and time, and we're not set up right in midfield, and all of a sudden he's bearing down on you, either coming in from the left or, like I said, he plays as like this inside forward just behind Mateta. So does Nketiah, because they've got the wing backs bombing on. I think they've got Max Lacroix, the new guy that just brought in, and there's Muniz on the other side, or Mitchell. Sorry,
Mitchell.
Mitchell would be left wing back, and Munoz would be the other one. They go, mate. They go. So they provide that width. And when you've got Eze in them little pockets between Ugarte, who will probably be deepest, and Kobe, whichever side, and the fullbacks, whether that's Dallo, and whether it's Dallo and Ugarte who've got to do it, or whether it's Mazraoui and Kobe who got to do it. Someone needs to be responsible for when Eze starts getting on the half turn or trying to get, because he is devastating. If you allow him to turn and start running,
if he picks up the ball and travels, so against QPR in the week, where he picked up the ball, just ran a bunch of the pitch.
So I mean, and look at the goal he scored at Stamford Bridge. Even he's in and around the box, if you give him a sniff, little shift, open out his body, he is quality. And we know that. Look, last year he was sliding in Mateta lacing it left foot. You know what I mean? Past it. They gave us licks last year. So now's the time to go and prove that last year, like what Eric Ten Hag's saying, is different. We are a different team now. We've got our players back. These are the games where we are looking at Ten Hag and saying, right, you saying this is going to be different. Last year, you just had to throw out an 11. I think we had like Johnny Evans, half legs gone. Casemiro. That team we put out was terrible.
We're centre back.
We were struggling. We were absolutely struggling. So we're on our asses. We've been told, and we can see that that's not what we are anymore. That was then. This is now. Go and prove it. Predictions.
Predictions. Well, look, United scoring goals at the moment. Palace are conceding goals at the moment. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Manchester United.
2-0. I like that. I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1.
I'm going to go 3-1. Yeah, I did a prediction on Saeed's show the other day as well, so I'm going to stick with that actually, because I said 2-1. I felt like, I don't know, you know what we're like. But yeah, I do like a sound of a 2-0 convincing, like solid, good performance. But for some reason, I don't know, I like a 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1. So we'll see. Get your predictions in. Let us know how you guys are feeling about it. Give us your predicted 11 as well. And we'll see you on the match view. And get involved. We'll see you then. Take care. Peace.